Yeah, I did. Let's see. Instant, can you hear me now? Yeah. All right. We got 4 viewers on the stream. I'm gonna wait for a little bit more. Milky, say something.
What's up?
You can't hear Milkman? What? Wait, no. Instant said he can. Alright. Sweet.
Okay.
Alright. And since we got 4 people, I guess we should probably get this thing started. I don't know how long we're gonna last, but we'll keep going, and then we got a little schedule going on here. Quick rundown of what we got. This is the Mid-Season Podcast. We're gonna do some weekly recaps here. Go over some surprises. Second part, we're gonna do standings and look at the playoff race.
We're gonna look at standings and a little maybe like division winner predictions in there, or is that like a whole nother thing you want to do?
We'll probably save that for the week 12 segment. We're gonna go through some of the big games coming up. We've got 2, maybe 3 really solid top user games coming up next week. We'll drop the scores and predictions, maybe get some input from you guys on that one. And then we'll go through the league leaders. Whether you think some of their stats are cheesy or not, there's some guys putting up big numbers already.
That's up for that's your opinion, really.
Not mentioning any names here. This is an unbiased podcast. And then
I think it is, but it's unbiased, I promise.
I might surprise some of y'all with the power rankings. Fire you guys up while we got y'all in chat here, and really get things going. And then we have a couple guests going on. So far we have Big Joe coming up. Maybe Instant if he feels so inclined to join the chat. maybe Boofy.
Maybe the one and only Boofy.
The one, the only, the Boofy out here. Fan favorite. Would love to have him on here.
Oh yeah, man. I'd love to ask him a few questions.
Oh man, I think we got some of them. And if you guys are in that podcast chat, feel free to ask away at anything you want us to answer once we finish up what we got planned. So the first one here, I've got Daddy Leagues pulled up. Sort of a little bit of recap of what was going on. Some big games that come to my mind were, how about my man doing the podcast with me, Milky, pulling off the big upset over Tizzle. Tizzle was definitely a top 5 user, and still is, but
definitely.
It was a shootout. Shout out to Tizzle, because he's a very solid guy. Just got promoted to commish. Keep doing big things, but on the field, Milky looked to be at just a little bit better that day. Your pass rush was going crazy.
Afterwards I looked at it, I thought for a little bit, and it's probably the best game I think I played in this league so far, offensively, I should say. If my defense is still a little shaky, but we're figuring things out.
Yeah, I watched that game, and it was crazy. It was back and forth. It seemed like as soon as you scored, he scored. And I know you have a Deshaun Watson hate in you, but
Deshaun Watson, he showed me a lot that game.
Yeah, believe it or not, he's doing very, very well statistically, and you have the number 2 scoring offense so far, which you can't complain. The results definitely speak for themselves. What is your record?
I'm 4-2-1.
4-2-1. Oof. All right. So you're still in that playoff race. I mean, you play in the toughest division in football. It's not like your name is Bills, or the AFC least, as we like to call it. Looking around in your division, let's see where that puts you at.
I'm still third in my division.
Still third, yeah.
Yep.
Colts are 5-1, Jags are 5-1, Texans are 4-2, and Titans are still getting there.
Yeah, they got some work to do.
Hey, they still got a negative 141 point differential. They still got room to try and turn things around. Not worse than the league. Alrighty, so you picked up a big dub over Tizzle. Another one, he just played his game today. He actually beat you. You know him. I know he's listening out there.
I'll be honest with you. I thought I was going to beat him and lose to Tizzle, not the other way around.
Oh, man. Big Joe. I see you. I know you're out there.
Joe.
Big Joe, actually, with all this success, is going to be on later. We're going to ask him a couple questions. Get his thoughts on what's happening in the league. He's playing very, very well. Probably one of the hottest teams in the league. He had a shot to beat Drift. Whether you think his Michael Thomas cheese or
some may call it cheese.
Oh man, Big Joe, we really appreciate you.
I'll be honest with you, man. Big Joe came out and smacked me in the mouth, and I couldn't respond, man.
Hey, maybe he's going to be one of those teams like me last year. They get you on a good week, and they're having a good week. You're not playing so well, and you catch a dub over a team you really weren't supposed to beat. Another great game here was the Cardinals and the Rams. Cardinals won 23-20. Cardinals are 6-0 and Rams are 4-3. Both powerhouses.
They're both very good.
We're probably going to see those teams come around playoff time. We might get a rematch depending on how things shake out. That was a very, very good game this week. We'll slide over to the AFC. How about the Jags and Browns? Our man Instant out here caught a dub over the Browns.
Finally clicking on all skills.
Yeah, maybe that Super Bowl hangover he had, after that tragic loss to the only TCG. He's finally getting things on back, but he's going to go as far as Derek Carr takes him. It's as simple as that.
Him adding Tariq Cohen was a huge.
Yeah, I don't know the old. That must have been the old trade committee that let the powers shift like that. How about it?
Yeah. If I was on that trade committee, damn well that wasn't going through. No bias reasons, but.
Yeah. Another thing we had this was a good game. I watched this game. Chiefs Broncos 19-16. A lot of very, very close one-score games this week. That was a very good. Those are two very, very solid underrated users. I think should they catch fire, Broncos can win his division still.
That Broncos pass rush, man.
Yeah, Haskins has got to shake some things out, but maybe he'll get things going. And Chiefs has got a very, very solid game plan there. He runs the football well. He passes well. Defense is tough. Very, very underrated guy at 4-3. I think he's a little bit better than his record shows. Other than that, nothing much happened last week. I mean, I don't think we need to address the Eagles and Packers game. We all know what went down there. Week 6 had some pretty good matchups as well. Let me see what Daddy Leaks wants to load here.
That was really where Big Joe, he beat me, but that's kind of where he made his statement.
Yeah.
Big Joe's here to compete.
Big Joe is here to make plays. He didn't just beat you. He pistol whipped you. 37-19. I mean, you got to take your lumps just like a man, but you definitely came out. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Another thing, how about Tizzle playing Drift? Two of the powerhouses of the league, both top 5 users. We'll see where we put them in my power rankings coming up.
I watched that game, and to me, Drift, I just didn't think played that hot.
You have your off games. Panthers won that one 31-10. to push him to 4-2. Colts falls. That was Colts' first loss after he had just beaten Jaguars earlier. Colts, again, very tough guy. He's going to contend with Instant and be neck and neck the whole way there. How about, here just in case he's listening, how about Bills out there? He caught a big dub over Ravens, 45-10. He's been playing really well. Obviously,
I'll be honest with you, no biased opinion, that win wasn't impressive.
Oh, hot take out there. Stephen A. Milky with the hot take.
Texans came out and dropped the same amount of points on him as Bills did, so I'm not impressed.
Yeah, another thing. How about Boofy? Boofy played me very, very tough. I had to come back.
I was everybody well. He just
I think
here and there.
Yeah, he's got Dolphins this week coming up. He could win.
Now, actually.
That'll be fun to see how that plays out. Hopefully they're tuned into the stream while they're out there playing. Two good guys, going back and forth. Someone's got to win that game.
Dolphins trying to. He's like
under new ownership.
He's gonna win out. He's gonna win out. He said, the division.
Yeah, so I don't know about that, Chief. You got a 65 overall quarterback that can't hit the broadside of a barn. Oh, baby. Oh, we got Bengals in here. Bengals talk, huh? All right. He had been chatting back and forth, but
4-2, he said.
They're gonna end up 4-2, but he got a force win. So 3-2 without that force win. Drew Rock has been probably one of the better quarterbacks in the he's been one of the better rookie quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, the AFC, man. There's a lot of 4-2, 4-3 teams out there, man. Those last few wild card spots are going to be up for grabs. One's going to go. I already know. I should say only the last one, because one's going to either Drift or Instant. Whoever doesn't win the division.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting playing out. You've been playing well. Could we see 3 wild card teams from your division?
2 years in a row. Oh, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. You've got some really other solid users out there. I keep mentioning that, but this league is definitely, you can see, with the help of our mentoring program.
I'm definitely gonna.
Guys are getting better.
Definitely keeping an eye on Bengals going forward.
Bengals, huh? Oh well.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Definitely.
He's only got 2 losses. I know one of them is to Bills. I can't quite remember who the other one was to, but I know it was a very, very top tier team. So we'll see. He's definitely, he might be one of them under the radar players, so we'll see.
Definitely keeping an eye on him.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to standings now. So right now we've got 2 perfect teams in the league. We've got the Arizona Cardinals, even after all his tampering allegations and some of the other stuff that's happened, alleged. We'll see. He's playing well, 6-0.
Damn right he is.
The strength.
What was he calling it? A revenge
tour? Oh, his revenge tour. Oh, he'll let you know too. He definitely will let you know. Don't forget though, last year he started out 10-0, ended up 11-5, and was a first-round knockout. Was it too late to call him the Arizona Falcons?
He was talking last year about how he's ready to quit the league because it was too easy. And
then, then he goes in as a first-round knockout once he finally plays some real guys and isn't stuck in a subpar division. I mean, he's got Liam, who hasn't played many games. My son's missing in action, so we'll have to see out there. Then going down to 3-4, we've got Philly at 5-1, Indy at 5-1, and Jacksonville at 5-1. It's kind of tough to get a read on quite exactly who's above who. I think Philly's playing. I think in my mind Philly should be 6-0. I don't think anyone can really disagree with that statement if you've watched that game.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, I think Philly at 6-0. I'd put him again. He's probably still going to be number 1 in my power rankings, which we're going to probably plan on doing later here. I think he's solid. I think he's got a very good game plan. Old school football player.
He sticks to his plan, and it just straight up works. Man.
He brings his lunch pail to brings the lunch pail to work. Just goes to town, plays tough defense, runs the football. Oh man, yeah, very good guy. Then Drift Drift playing tough out here. Drift, they've got a big matchup coming up with Instant. Whoever wins that probably will win the division next year.
Whoever wins
or
that
this year, I
definitely
should
wins
say.
the division.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless the Texans can come out and sweep all 4 games, but that's highly unlikely.
Yeah, all right. Don't get too ahead of yourself, Milky. You're gonna end up like Cardinals out here by the time we're done with this.
Anything's possible.
Then we're gonna move on to some of these 2-loss teams. It looks like we have about 7 of them, 7 or 8. We've got the Dallas Cowboys 5-2, Green Bay's 4-2, Washington's 4-2, Oakland 4-2. Good for him, man. Yeah, Oakland's 4-2. Carolina's 4-2. Denver's 4-2. And same with you, Milky. So, the surprising one there, like you heard in the tone of my voice, how about Oakland out here? 4-2 after having the number 1 overall pick. He doubled his win total from last year. Good for him, man.
That's what happens when you draft a franchise-changing player like.
Yeah, he had a very, very solid draft out there. You know, Redskins is a very tough guy. He's not an easy out. You can ask anyone. I don't like playing him. He's in my division.
He beat me last year.
Oh, he's very solid at defense. If you even blink, he'll be all over you, you know. Broncos is solid. Carolina, again, like I said, probably a top 5 user. And the Packers are under some new ownership. So we don't know exactly. It's usually hit or miss with that. I missed some of these 3-2 teams down here. I don't think this Daddy Leagues is updated. We've got Chicago, my buddy Liam out here. He'll go as far as Mitch takes him, and then the Bengals. He's in chat. Bengals at 14th right now in the league standing, so in the upper half, but he's got to make that push to get in the top 10. Consistency, man.
Win his division.
That is true. We're going to go to some of these 3-loss teams now. We've got Kansas City, Los Angeles Rams, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay. New England. New England and the Chargers are also a 3-loss team.
Best out of that crop has to be Cleveland.
Yeah, I think it's Cleveland out of that tier. And then I think you put L.A. L.A.'s got to be second there.
Very, very solid.
Uh-huh. You know, Rams, Todd Gurley. Wait till we get to his stats, man. He's putting up some numbers. I thought Ezekiel Elliott was having an MVP year. Wait till you read some of these Todd Gurley numbers. We might have to get some stat corrections on them because they're out of this world.
I haven't watched any games yet. I might have to just to see what he's doing with.
Oh man, he's got close to 1,000 rushing yards in 6 games. I mean, but his last games he had 35 carries. So Todd Gurley, I guess they're just going to give him the ball till he throws up.
Exactly. Run him into the ground, man.
Yeah. You know, Pittsburgh's they either play very well or they don't play so well. You know, Big Ben could have 5 picks or 5 touchdowns. You never know. That's pretty much the story of him in real life.
Exactly.
The Chargers don't have an owner right now. They're 1-3-1. So another guy messaged me, so we're gonna try and get him in the league. He seemed pretty active. So maybe, you know, given their little cap situation, they're gonna do well. New England at 2-3. Kind of the same story he had last year. He was 8-8. This year,
it's mediocre.
Who's playing? Who's lining up under center for him? You know, who's he playing?
Is it still Jared Stidham? Or
I think Case Keenum got injured. It might be Jared Stidham still. I don't know. He's been trying to trade for every quarterback. That's a franchise one.
He used a first-round pick on him. That kind of investment.
You've got to develop him, man. Yeah, you've got to develop that first-round pick, or else it's a complete bust in my eyes. You definitely don't want that in this league. You know, overvaluing the quarterback position will get you burnt. And then Tampa Bay, haven't really seen him play too many games. Kind of at 3-3. He might drop another loss. Who knows? Not too sure about that one. Let's go to these 4-loss teams now. We've got Big Joe, Baltimore, Seattle, Atlanta, and San Fran. So
Big Joe's definitely the
Big Joe. I think Big Joe's probably the best out of those 4-loss teams. Baltimore, not too sure what you're getting out of there.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
I played him and handled him easily. So
Yeah. If Liam can play
you
some
never
games,
know.
maybe he can win. He's 2-4. San Francisco. A lot of you guys like to call him Fallen Sun. 2-4.
I don't know, he seems like a
Garoppolo.
hit or miss guy to me too.
Yeah, he played
I
the
haven't
Browns
watched much of
very,
him.
very tough. Tizzles just said in chat, going back to Jared Stidham, it could sound like a Deshaun Kaiser situation, A very,
Yeah, it
very,
does. Honestly, now that I think about that, yeah.
I think he's got the talent, I was very big on this guy coming out after his junior year. In real life, his senior year, he came and just absolutely shit the bed. I mean, I don't think I've seen anyone stock plummet that much, except maybe Bryce Love this year too, but
Oh yeah.
that situation, I think of. Do you remember a couple years back when Matt Barkley was the consensus #1 quarterback coming out, came back for his senior year and barely even got drafted?
Mhm.
I think in real life though, I think Stidham could end up falling a little bit later, and someone might end up getting lucky. Those
I
mid-round
just haven't
quarterbacks are
watched. I
scratch
don't
off
think I've
lottery
watched him
tickets.
play, so I don't really have an opinion on him.
Yeah. I think that's it for those 4 lost teams. Atlanta. One day he shows up and plays Liam. The next day, beats Liam. Then the next day he goes out and loses to Big Joe. He's stuck.
Maybe Big Joe's just better than we thought.
Who knows? Tizzle, we'll get to the quarterback draft coming up. Maybe. We got some time. You think this is... I think this quarterback class coming up in our league is very stacked. A lot of teams need quarterbacks. Rumor has it Dallas needs a new sheriff. I mean, just look at our roster. A couple other teams down here.
Revolving door at quarterback.
Oof. Hey, Nick Foles is just managing the game, man. As long as I can get him to hand the ball off, make the good reads, control the game, I don't have any problems. He's a Super Bowl MVP for a reason, man. He's just got to stick to my scheme. He's wants to beat Philly. We've got to beat Philly, I think Foles, combined with Ezekiel Elliott and all these touchdowns he's been scoring, my pass rush has been getting there big in these games. Knock on wood, not many injuries, but
Same here, brother. Same here.
Dallas might be willing to sell the farm for a quarterback coming up. And
very interesting.
We're gonna get to some of these teams here at the bottom, 5 and 6 losses here. These are the quarterback ones. Even though he's not, maybe not this one. Bomb Squad, thinking emoji himself.
I don't know, man. I feel like he'd go right ahead and draft a quarterback.
Oh man.
Even though we got Stafford, man. I don't know. I just don't know what.
I think he's got to hold on to him. He's got to hold on to him. I think Stafford is a very, very good quarterback, man.
Must be turmoil in that organization or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
Hey, man, he's got to be able to control things, control that team, and you can win a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford. I know he's got a personal vendetta against the old me and the trade committee.
Hey, you can't teach that arm.
Oh man. That is true. I mean, you look at him. He's a top 10 quarterback in this roster. He's a franchise quarterback. Maybe he moves him in this offseason. There's a lot. I think this offseason there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks being moved.
He's definitely going to try.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams. I think I'm only one very solid quarterback, like a Matthew Stafford or maybe even one of these high-impact rookies away. A lot of teams need a QB, but you would think they would hit good old Dallas up with 3 starters on my roster, but no one has slid into my phone. Jerry Jones says the phone is open for calls. Wink, wink. Miami, 0-5.
Under new ownership, very, very, very confident.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, he's in for a rude awakening. But what was the rumor you want to say?
I was talking about you.
Oh, all right.
Jerry's phone is open.
Jerry's phone is open.
I'm telling you, man.
He's on.
He thinks he can. He thinks he can do it, man. More power.
Oh man, he's got a 65 overall quarterback and thinks he can win 10 straight.
Got a $100 million man standing right behind him, though.
Oh man, we'll wait and see.
He's
He's playing Boofy. I don't know. I'm rooting for Team Boof. Go Rams. Next coming up, we got more winless teams. Hopefully, Boofy can get on the board. We've got 0-6 Minnesota, 0-6 Jets and Giants, and the Titans. Some of them bounced around ownership down there. I think the Vikings guy is a very solid dude. His game plan is getting there, man. He's not too flashy. He'll run double. Sometimes he'll run 3 tight ends out there. Maybe he's been trying to toss around Everson Griffin. Hopefully not a tank job out there, but moving some pieces around to get some younger players, and hopefully maybe he can get rid of that Kirk Cousins contract and free up some of that cap.
That's definitely a win.
Vikings picked up a running back of mine. I'd let Rod Smith go. Rod Smith was just a battering ram running back. He was 6'3", about 240, just ran forward and ran people over.
Big boy.
I didn't re-sign him. Personally, I just felt like he couldn't move. He just ran straight, and I feel like I could have got that value out of somewhere else. I ended up picking Kalen Ballage, who I think is a very, very underrated player. I think is miles ahead of Rod Smith. But Rod Smith is doing work over there in Minnesota. We got Boofy. Your rookie leading rusher, I believe, is Bryce Love.
Bryce Love.
I think it's Bryce Love. Darnold's got room.
Yeah,
Darnold
cut back on those mistakes.
Oof. We're rooting for you, Boofy.
Giants
at 0-6 here. He's getting better.
Where to start?
He's getting better, but maybe he'll sneak out a win or two.
I'm not seeing it.
Well, he's got work to
He
do.
was averaging 6 points a game.
Can't win many games like that, but we'll root for you, buddy. And then Tennessee down here at 0-6. I don't even know. They have an owner. They got a new owner.
He's another guy that, to be blunt, has a lot of work to do.
Hey, there's room for improvement, man. That's why we got that mentoring system. Well, hopefully you've seen a lot of guys get better. Look at Liam and Big Joe.
Yeah.
Maybe
Big
all
Joe's
it takes is
example number 1.
Yeah, maybe it takes something like that, and they'll be good to go. All right, so that pretty much recaps some teams' records and the standings. Let's go to the big games coming up next week. Pull up the schedule.
My favorite, the one I'll be for sure watching.
Oh, my stream just quit.